Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of episode 2. We are Hacked in the Dark. We are playing the Drowner's crew book, playing Blaze in the Dark. We left off, everyone had just returned from something that was like a vision, like a flashback, like a time travel.
Like playing the video game Oberdin.
Yeah, exactly. On board this ship, that they are investigating how it sank. As a recap, you learned at least that there's a party going on. Someone was giving out medallions courtesy of the Immortal Emperor, or pendants, and there is some kind of sparkcraft experiment going on the ship as well. When you return, it was mentioned during the break. I want to call the break downtime. Mentioned during the break that we had not seen the desperate consequence for the explosion going off. When you return, sections of the ship are collapsed in, having taken too much damage from the explosion. And the rest of the family, the rival family, the Burnses, are kind of crawling through it, trying to pick up through the debris and figure out what was going on, what happened. To some extent, you may have distracted them, but also you may have exposed some things now that they are finding first.
All right, so I'm gonna say to Brennan, let's find that sparkcraft and head towards that part of the ship in the present.
Yeah, I think you sort of turn to Brennan and he's already kind of like, "Are you coming to find that sparkcraft?" Like,
And we're like,
yeah.
As kind of an aside, can I have been there when they woke up, like pushing debris off of someone or something? Like, that kind of, or like lending a hand, or what have you.
Yeah. You come over and like pull some debris off me, and I'm like, "Where's Connor? We gotta go find that sparkcraft."
Yeah, if you want. I had intended to bring you along, but you didn't participate much. So yeah, if you want.
I think I already had my aside, so I think it's fine.
All right. Yeah. So you don't know where on the ship it is. You got a rough sense of the ship's layout, having dug around earlier, though. So.
Yes, we're gonna head down below decks towards where it could be.
Okay.
Yeah. This sounds like another hunt roll to me.
Mm-hmm.
Can be, or, yeah. So if you're looking for the thing itself, sure, that could be a hunt. Or you can just narrate. We go to the hall, and I tell you what's there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go to the
hall. Yeah, so you go down to the bottom of the ship, where large things might have been kept, and
the ship's underwater, right? It's sunk.
It is underwater.
Yeah.
Yep, it's sunk. Yep. That's why it isn't half. Yes. So what was the bottom of the ship is maybe now like kind of tilted, but you can still kind of tell where that area was. It is collapsed in somewhat from the Connor's explosion. Right along the edge of the juncture where it had cracked in half, basically, there are a handful of bodies, and pocket watch glows again.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's waiting for you to get close enough to one of the bodies for it to trigger. So
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I should ask: does everyone come along? Or are you all sticking together?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Can we flash back to have not come along if we need to?
I suppose that's possible.
Is there a period of time in the present where we are gone, or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
You can tell that because the ship had was in a slightly different situation when you came back.
Right.
An equivalent amount of time had passed.
Yeah.
So I think I'm less interested in finding this sparkcraft device and more interested in sort of finding the bodies of the people we've just seen.
Hmm.
Mm.
So
Oh,
I think I
one
would
thing-
ask, like, our father, if he knows the name Lord Skurlock, if he recognizes the Admiral.
I think most people have heard of
Yeah.
Lord Skurlock. And the Admiral is, more of a figure than someone that people know much about.
Well, when we're
Screw-
talking to each other, are we like pressing glass against glass here? Is that kind of what it's like?
Probably cut down the lag.
Yeah.
Before it had been like calling up the air tube and then the
Yeah.
sound
Uh-huh.
way back down.
I like the face mask to face mask idea.
Yeah. Like maybe you have like one of those horn kind, like a listening horn type things that you can like, each other's.
Amazing.
So yes, in the hold, much to your surprise, you find the body of the Admiral. And that is the one that triggers the pocket watch to go off. And when the flash of light fades, you find yourselves in the hold. The ship is together, but it is leaking in huge sections and clearly actively sinking. You are right near where that split is, and you can see like holes all around, kind of as though it were collapsing. And the Admiral is on his knees, and the first mate is pointing a gun at him. And shot goes off, and the first mate looks at you, and kind of in surprise. And like his hand shaking, and he drops the gun, and says, "We have to get out of here. He should not have been allowed to do this."
Don't mind us. You seen any sparkcraft cool things around here?
Where's the emergency exit?
He says,
when we were
he's,
back in
like,
the
shocked.
when we were back in the present, and we came into this space, like we suspected that the sparkcraft thing might be here, right? That's why we came here.
Yes.
And it was not, or was there wreckage of it, or what was the situation like?
The ship had been slightly collapsed from Connor's bomb, so it would take a bit of time to dig through and find something here.
Great.
So this guy's like shocked and confused by your question. Says, "Don't you know?" And he points behind you, and you can see on the other half of the ship the like wreckage of a sparkcraft device, a very large one, like 7 feet tall, 4 feet around. And it looks completely burned up, so you can't quite make out what it is or what it was. He says, "We need to get away from that." And begins to leave to go up the stairs to try to escape before the ship fully sinks.
Well, since we are physically here, I think we should probably go with him.
I want to tackle him and stop him from leaving.
You can do that too.
I like that idea.
Yeah, because I want to threaten him to tell us what the device was.
And what the Admiral did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna like almost rugby tackle him, grab him by the ankles.
Yeah, sure. That sounds like
Well-
a good roll.
While you're doing that, I kind of want to help the person that he had on the ground to their feet as well.
Oh, he's dead. The
Oh,
Admiral's
he is dead. The shot has
They
occurred.
shot him.
The shot
Yeah,
occurred.
okay.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Never
Shall I roll
mind.
skirmish.
Sounds like skirmish.
Okay. What's the position?
I think it's gonna be desperate standard because the ship is sinking around you,
Nice.
and you are not in your diving gear.
What would a devil's bargain look like?
Mm. Hmm.
Maybe like take a point of harm as I'm not doing this in a very controlled way, just throwing myself onto the ground.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
That's a 6.
There it is.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, take. So you dive, and there's a couple of inches of water, and you are struggling and like inhale some of the water. So take like level 1 harm sputtering.
Good.
And he lands in the water too, and is similarly sputtering. And turns around, tries to kick you off. But you can demand information from him first or something.
I'm going to take a point of load. I've got a few dozen feet of good rope with me on it at all times as a diligent mariner. So I want to tie his hands behind his back.
Okay. Yeah, he's tied and his eyes are wild, and he says, "We're gonna die if we don't get out of here. What are you doing?"
You're gonna die right now if you don't tell me what that sparkcraft thing was.
He says, "I don't know. I just run the ship. I just know that it turned on somehow, and it wasn't supposed to in the harbor. I think that's what I was told. I think we were supposed to go out and then out past the lightning barrier and then try it somehow. And I think it's what called the thing. I've never seen a Leviathan in the harbor, but something was called.
Who brought it here? Military?
I don't. The Empire, the Imperial Naval Lab, have been doing experiments. I don't know all the details.
I look around.
Why'd you kill the admiral?
Good question.
He betrayed us all. He should never have even tried messing with this. And then when everything happened, he hid down here.
I look at Nara. I'm like, all right, I've seen enough. Let's bounce.
I'm looking at this person thinking that they're dead in the future. And it's kind of sad in a way, though they are murderer potentially. I don't know the situation.
Can I flash back a couple of minutes?
I kind of want to tell them, like, in a calmer voice, like, we have a way out.
Does that interrupt your flashback, or did you still want a flashback?
I just want to know, like, when we came down to the hold, was there a body with its wrists tied floating around in here?
There was not.
Okay.
But yes, if you say that, then he says, "Untie me and let's get out then."
I'd like to
think-
ask one question before we untie you. Who was the first one to die tonight?
He looks like confused and frustrated, and then says, "I don't know. I heard someone was poisoned, something like that earlier in the night. The usual noble stuff that I figured it was just a one-off thing."
Pops will speak up and say, "We can bring him with us, but leave the ropes on. I don't trust him."
Yeah, I'll grab him by the rope, like, as to hold it behind his back, and come on, and we'll head out.
Yeah. So the ship around you cracks in half, and water floods in and washes the body away. And as soon as you can no longer see the body, the light flashes and you come back. You are still holding on to this drowning man.
Oh shit! I forgot.
You
There's
are
a moment
drowning
of
him.
confusion. and then I want to like look around
we-
me.
Well, can we flashback to like right before, but flashback to right before we, return to the present time? Here, put this on, right?
How deep
Did
is
you
the
have-
harbor?
No, we wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
It's fairly deep. Like some large ships, like
Like-
here.
We're not talking about like the bends deep though, right?
No,
Your head wouldn't
right.
burst if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
went to the top. Yeah.
If you let him go, he might be able to swim to the top. But
I
not-
kind of want to swim. I want to bring him to the top.
okay,
Yeah.
So-
So I'm doing emergency breach.
okay.
So we
Yes.
it might be faster to take him to the bathysphere, and then we've got him contained instead of in the middle of a whole bunch of admiral ships.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Sure. So since you are Fleet of Finn, you can swim faster than he can, and since you have normal load.
Yeah, I think what this looks like is me using the air hose to like climb my way back to the bathysphere like very quickly. I just like hook him onto one of the hooks on my belt or something like that, and drag him along with me. Is what I'm going to try to do before he drowns.
Yeah.
Which, is like even
He's
with
probably struggling since we're not going up.
Yeah, right. So I think, I think he is struggling. I think in order to save him, you're going to have to roll something.
Yeah, I agree. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't really know how you judge position when you are not the person at risk. It's probably
Oh, it should be the same, right?
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
It's just a matter of inflicting a consequence on someone else.
Yeah.
I suppose it's desperate. He will drown if you don't get there. In
Yeah.
time. So
hmm
desperate standard.
Could I do a setup action with command to basically just tell him, like, we're trying to save you, that sort of thing? Convince him that this is
Sure.
for his own good? Try to improve position?
Yeah, that could improve position. Sure.
Okay, and what's the position and effect on that?
Risky standard.
Alrighty, I'll take that.
Okay. He cannot hear you through your mask. And begins
I'm not aware of that, so I'm just shaking him and yelling.
What's the consequence of that?
He is struggling harder.
Right,
And-
or is wasting time.
Yeah, you're wasting time.
Yeah.
And you are also being watched by the other family, and they see this other person who is not in a diving outfit being grabbed. They're very confused.
Yes, a survivor of this days-old wreck. Somehow,
and
yeah.
they're going to come in to try to interfere. So if you roll poorly and getting him out, they will stop you.
How many
fair.
of them are there?
I'm gonna say there are just as many of them as there are of you,
Okay.
but
So 5.
not all of them are going to come to interfere.
I'm gonna argue for prowl for this because it's a lot of like climbing and
Right.
Yeah.
creative movement through
Sure.
this water, basically, because I'm still in my suit.
Right.
That kind of a thing.
Mhm.
I'll take a point of stress to give you a dice.
Yeah, do you want to give me like a boost or something? Like do we have like a classic maneuver of like
Yeah, yeah.
the old alley-oop?
Just like twins, like we've done this
Yeah.
a lot in the
Yeah.
in our youth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I like that. Thank you very much. And I'm open to a devil's bargain for another.
Oh, Devil's Bargain is that he knows what was going on and gets some of the reward, or like has to he's gonna tell people what happened.
That's quite the story.
Yeah, I don't know if they believe him alone or that kind of thing, but
I better take it because I'm only rolling 2 dice here. So I guess I gotta.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oof.
Okay, no, you do not get there in time.
Someone roll a success in any capacity
Well,
today.
here's the thing. I would like to resist that.
Yes, there you go.
I see that he's struggling. Like, I get with the boost and with my climbing, I get quite a ways up, but I just have not accounted for just how far away the bathysphere and the surface is.
Mhm.
And I'm just like looking as this guy is like starting to go limp. And I want to, so I'm going to resist that. What would that be with?
Probably prowess. It's just like physical pushing yourself. I could
Can
see.
I can I add a little bit of like underwater, kiss kind of situation here?
Open up
You know, like the kiss of life kind of a thing here.
Okay.
Like I
sure,
take my helmet off.
if you want.
Okay.
I don't know if that changes the resist roll though.
Well, I'm resisting him dying, right?
Yeah, right. So that's how. Yeah,
Trying to transfer some of the consequences onto yourself.
right.
Ooh,
That's
possibly, yeah.
protect. You're just
Yeah.
using
A little
protect.
protection.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh wow.
That is something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It
you
is.
call that something trauma.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay.
I want to say that I give him my helmet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you give him your helmet, and it lasts you just long enough to get to the bathysphere.
Uh-huh.
And you are holding your breath, but
Well, can I actually, since I didn't succeed, can I suggest like he gets there and I don't?
what happens to you?
Kind of a thing. Like I go unconscious. No, I'm the one unconscious, going unconscious. Like I'm willing to take the harm for him, basically.
So,
Which I guess in this case would be risky harm.
So I'm trying to think of a way that this doesn't kill you.
Well, the whole rest of the crew is right there.
Yeah.
Can I resist that harm for you?
Yeah.
So you
Well,
you go unconscious. I swim
already-
try and swim to the surface.
I already resisted it. I was protecting
the
him
harm to
and I
him.
resisted it.
Right.
I can resist
Yeah.
the harm to you.
Yeah. So
I don't know if that's how it works, but
I don't know either. So I
Like,
think,
you getting into the bathysphere shouldn't be too hard.
yeah, I think basically you get like just there, and your eyes go foggy, and you can't see, and then I think you like he pulls you in, and just like leaves you unconscious until the rest of the
Jacob, alternative suggestion, because we
Yeah.
can kind of go back and forth here. I think
Yeah.
something I think might be cool is if I just float unconscious to the surface and I'm scooped up.
Oh, by the admirals.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure. That
Mhm.
sounds good. So he does see where you're going, and now has a helmet like with just enough.
He's looking out through the
Mhm.
window of the bathysphere. and seeing
Yeah,
me.
right.
Yeah.
You float up and are scooped up. Yeah, I like that.
I have a question about how when you're underwater and the bathysphere is also underwater, you get into the bathysphere without the bathysphere filling with water.
Through the bottom. It's like a
Yeah,
diving
we-
board.
Oh
It
yeah.
was
We talked about
it's
that. Great.
basically a diving bell.
Yeah.
Good question though, for people who missed episode 1 and weren't in all our conversations off screen.
Good question for me because I forgot.
Yeah, that too. Okay. So I imagine you left the
I was
um,
the next thing I was gonna do is say if it's okay with Justin, I wanted to while all this was going on, palm the pocket watch off of Nara and just sort of like continue going about my business.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I may have even like looked around frantically for someone to give it to and
Oh,
not
yeah.
been paying attention to like who I handed it off to,
Great.
kind of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you now know the location of the sparkcraft thing that was destroyed. You have a bit more information.
It did kind of look like we were heading towards a confrontation with the other family, though.
Yeah, what's
Are
up
they
with the
still-
other family?
Yeah. So most of them are still exploring that half of the wreck. So in order to get to the sparkcraft thing, you're going to have to get past them.
So I've known Maggie my whole life. Can I pick her out of the crowd?
I think only you would be able to.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna just casually swim over, no weapons, just swim over and try to touch helmets.
So you've seen your granddaughter just drowning over there, and you're just now casually like getting on with your business.
She can handle herself.
That's very okay. A very okay way to behave.
Yeah. I saw you were there, and I was like, yeah, if something goes wrong, you'll take care of it.
Okay.
Rory's reliable.
Yeah. So yeah, you can tell that Maggie's like defensive and somewhat unwilling, but like pauses long enough for you to be able to communicate.
All right. So yeah, I'll touch helmet so we can talk, and then I'm just gonna say, hey, what are you doing here?
Same thing you are.
You sure about that?
Why wouldn't I be?
You think that you're here to what? Just steal everything that isn't nailed down? Bunch of magpies?
Brennan in the background just like shoveling things into his pockets, like
Yeah. That and the reward posters that have been going up everywhere.
Oh, you think you're gonna solve the mystery, huh?
We can solve it at least as well as you and your clan can.
Maybe. I don't think that you're gonna crack it this time, but if you'd like to keep looking, be my guest. Does that mean that we're free to take everything that isn't nailed down on that half of the ship then?
She says, I think she like eyes your breathing tube and says, like visibly, and you know, like if she were to cut it or something, you would drown, but also it would be just as easy for you to cut hers.
Right.
So she says, you, there's more than enough for both of us, and I'm sure we'll come out ahead in the end, like we always do. But
not if you're wasting your time trying to solve this unsolvable mystery, but
I think we've got it. Some things here that I think you don't have on your side.
I guess we'll find out. And then I'm gonna head towards her side.
Yeah, she does not stop you. But she makes a motion to the rest of her family, and they all begin acting more covertly. Like they are trying to stay away from things that they think are important, or like hide what they're taking and where, and that kind of thing.
All right. So our family's gonna check out the other half of the boat now? Do we hopefully not want to do it as another group hunt role?
Absolutely
can.
not. I
Better
think I'm
plan.
like looking at Bartha and like looking up to where Nara's gone. Like what is that? What are you doing?
Yeah, I was just thinking that I don't think I noticed that Nara drowned and floated to the surface, because like I would have jumped in and tried to save her, but it was a trauma. It was like mechanically, it was the consequence of trauma, right? So like mechanically, I can't really. There's nothing I can do. So I think what that means is that Pops didn't notice, which is pretty awful.
Also, I
So
think
what was distracting you? What were you looking at that was so cool?
I think I was salvaging, like I was going through boxes, right? Like we're in the bottom of the ship. We're in the storage rooms. I think I literally had my head in a crate, like going through sparkcraft components.
I have a suggestion there too, which is, I mean, we established that some of the Burnses were like watching very intently at this interaction, it makes a lot of sense that at least one of us would be sort of like staring them down, like, hey, no funny business here, right? Like, kind of put yourself between them and Nara in the action, right?
Yeah.
Another thing that I think would be very dramatic is that you are in communication with Nara by way of the helmet and the tube. So I could see you saying, Nara, everything all right? And then Nara's huffing and panting and says yes. And then you say, Nara, things are going well. And then you hear this man's voice. And
Yeah.
he's like, who are you?
Wow.
That's good. That's very good. And then I think the man's voice, our basically our prisoner's voice comes over the helmet communication, and I turn around to look back at the bathysphere and I just see like the not the silhouette because it's pretty dark outside.
Yeah, right.
But I see the light from Nara's suit like drifting upwards to the surface and then disappear as she's plucked out by the Navy.
Yeah, there's like a shadow of a boat there as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Shadow of a boat comes over and then your light disappears.
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good
I like
image. That's a good
that.
image.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I think in that moment, Pops, I look around at the rest of you and I say, worry about that later. We got a job to do.
I'm going up there. And Rory's going to kick his boots off and try and
Awesome.
swim up to the surface.
Awesome.
And you hear through the speaking tube, as I'm like, because I'm still sputtering, I'm still slightly drowned from before, and so I'm like coughing, and it's like this damn family. To hell with them, and I'm swimming up as fast as I can go.
All right.
Brennan is going straight for whatever compartment the wreckage of the sparkcraft machinery was in. Like, it's just like, screw salvage. Like, we're here to find out what the cool sparkcraft thing is.
Yeah. So, Conor has given you access to that half, basically, by dealing with Maggie. Pops, which way are you going?
Yeah, I think there's a moment like you see like Pops' helmet like look back and forth right between like Conor exploring the wreck and Rauiri going up, and then you hear over the speaking tube, God damn it! And he kicks his boots off, his weighted boots off, and starts swimming up towards the surface as well.
Okay. Nice. I feel like that was a very defining choice. Okay, so...
I like this Brennan grandpa like bond that we've been kind of playing into here a little bit.
Yeah. So, as you kick up to the surface, we'll stick with you two for a moment. It takes a little bit. I believe you both have normal load, so you get there about the same time. You're able to get there reasonably quickly. And there is this boat. It's a smaller boat. You are able to surface, and you can see on the side of it has the insignia of the Royal Navy, the Imperial Navy. And you can see like a couple people. You're a bit further away and in the dark, so they don't see you yet, but you do see them like struggling with the body and like trying to remove the rest of the suit from it, that kind of thing.
Can I like just be coughing water in the background?
Yeah.
I think any lantern, like maybe the suits have an integrated lantern of some kind, and I turn that off as I get near the surface.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you decided to come to save your daughter.
If you have a stupid plan, I gotta try to help out at least a little bit. Let's come on. Let's go get her back.
but you left your other son underwater with some hostile people.
They know what they're doing. That's their job. You'd know that if you'd been here.
That's a fun twist, because those are the three. Those are the two that have been your partners in this for the last like 10 years. So you trust them to get the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I trust them, and I don't trust Rauiri to get Nara back.
Probably fair. We'll get swimming then. Come on.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So how do you approach the boat, and what do you do there?
I'm tempted to just yell at them, right?
Yeah, you could just pull rank, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Navy outranks Leviathan fleet, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of different. Like Leviathan fleets the Leviathan hunters are generally more independent, noble like contractors than like government military.
Yeah, in the book it talks about how Leviathan hunter captains are kind of the lowest class of nobility. Like they've fought their way up to nobility, but that means that anyone else on the ship is like definitely not.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, I could. Yeah, I think I'm gonna as soon as I'm within shouting distance, I'm gonna start yelling at these soldiers, these sailors, to stop abducting this person in the name of the master of the Kenmore Leviathan ship.
Just because you don't have rank doesn't mean you can't try to pull it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that is going to be limited.
So, because I'm also at less effect because I'm sputtering from inhaled water.
Oh,
very appropriate. I guess it goes down to 0 effect.
Yeah, right.
Which means to push it up back to limited. I'm going to need to take some stress.
You can either push yourself. You can always trade position for effect.
Yeah.
Or Pops can do a setup action to help as well. But limited
I would
somewhere. Like it's not 0.
So it was limited risky?
Limited risky to start, and then
so if you made it desperate limited.
Yeah, desperate limited.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
do you want a helping guy?
Up in their faces.
Do you think that how would Father help?
I think I'm gonna check off Drowner's rigging to get my diving equipment, and I had brought some extra bright lights with us. For if it got really dark down there, we'd want to be able to see what we're scouting. So right before you start shouting, I just flick on these extra bright spotlights to startle them.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, that's a 5. Limited effect.
So, and desperate.
And desperate.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so they are startled, and the boat comes over to you. But they like begin shouting back at you, and one of them they're not sure who you are and why you're in the
bobbing about in the waves.
Right. Someone shouts "Sea Demon," and they all get to arms. Another they begin also sending off flashes and signals, and another boat begins coming over too.
Oh. I'll take that consequence.
Yeah, so they're armed and approaching you, and on you basically, and ready to fight a demon if they need.
How many are in the boat? The small boat?
3.
Okay.
Scale 1.
Mm-hmm. They are Imperial.
Yeah, they are tier 6.
Something like that.
Each one of them is tier 6. That's not how that works. Don't listen to me, audience.
But they're like well armed. They've got like
Yeah.
proper suit. Yeah,
Exactly.
well trained and well. Yeah, good. Okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
in
so
a few heads there.
you were successful enough to like get their attention, get them to kind of stop what they were doing, come over to you.
How do you prove that you're not a demon? That's a difficult one. Or do we want to have a demon? I guess those are our options now. Would a demon be helpful right now?
Well, if the demon threatens them unless they give
like, who knows who's the demon? We don't know who the demon's going to threaten and who that demon is not going to threaten, but we could have a demon if we needed one.
I say always yes. Look, if that's an option, then yes.
That would
okay.
Yeah, have it on the other side of the boat, if you can.
I mean, anything that could help flip this boat would be helpful.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so when these people, I'm going to use my skill, which is called Ring Down Below. Oh, this is bad. That takes 2 stress to activate. But that's fine. It's going to give me a trauma, but it's probably suitable. That works.
It's a rough mission.
I will say also, I don't know if it helps at all, but I was looking at your character sheet and I think you are missing a special ability because I think you only have 2.
Oh yeah, I was going to choose
the others would help.
The other one, yeah. I mean, we could be ghosts instead, but I think this is funnier.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So when they shout, halt, sea demon. I'm gonna. I know a ghastly wordless tune that does attract a demon.
Okay.
And so this kind of strange demonic wail. It's not the demon summoning prayer that we used at the funeral.
Right.
It's a demon's call, and that comes up from the water, and an actual demon, I guess.
Yeah. So
it's like the eel from Mario 64.
And I've got a trauma, so that's it.
Okay, so what that looks like, because you're traumaing, and because you were behind the lightning barrier still, it's not a sea demon from the depths like you had summoned before, or a leviathan. A demon from like the docks from the city comes sweeping across a black shadow, without form as yet. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, sorry. I was gonna say we met Skurlock earlier. I was just wondering who this demon was, but it's fine.
Not Skurlock, I don't think.
That would be funny.
Yeah. So this is actually no. I'm sorry. It doesn't come from the docks. It comes from below, from the ruins that you had kind of been exploring before. And this black shadow that is hard to see because everything else is black and dark, flies up to you and inhabits your body temporarily. That is why you trauma. And you begin floating above the sea with black tendrils flying out around you. And I think that is probably sufficient on its own to get them to abandon ship and try to flee.
I would love it if the ship could capsize and then like me escaping is like everyone falling into the water, but I'm can swim away with my family.
So Rauiri as demon flips the ship.
Yeah, so you can narrate what you as demon do, I guess. You flip the ship.
I want to dive through it.
Okay.
Like above it and dive like a swan dive through the bottom of it so it starts filling with water.
I gotta take a second to appreciate that what happened here was you were like, hey, can we get some help? And they were like, you're a demon. And you were like, all right. Yeah, sure.
I'm a demon. Fair enough.
You got me.
Yeah.
So, at this moment, I'm just gonna be like, so how's it going, Shane?
And I think you just you hear silent like shit coming back down the speaking tube.
I turn to Brennan and I'm like, they're probably fine.
I think Brennan, Brennan's just like, they're always fine. It's not a big deal.
So the ship sinks, and I suppose Pops, because you are near enough, you can rescue Nara.
Yeah.
I would be interested in like leaving it there and kind of coming up with how we actually escape later, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you can
it's
see
time
what
for a
happens
break,
go up.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah,
right. Yeah. So let's take our next break, and then when we come back, we'll finish up with having found the sparkcraft device
mhm.
and what happens there. And we will see everyone in 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So, see you then.